it's SEMA time again, and my favorite interview is with Mike Ring, and this year you brought a beautiful Cadillac that I've been waiting to see, and in the meantime I've been watching a whole lot of Ring Universities. So, as we all know, I like to ask you how you did it, and this one sounds like a huge project.
It was definitely something we haven't done, but really enjoyed doing, I can tell you that.
So what did you start with?
We started with 4 cars, 2 48, 49 Cadillacs and 2 ATSs. One was a V, a 2016, one a 2015.
And the 2 old Cadillacs that you started with, a 48, 49, what condition were they in when you started?
They're West Rydell cars, so they're pretty nice.
Okay.
I mean, as good as you're going to find for a 70-year-old car.
Okay, but you modified, again, every panel in this car. So did you have solid metal to start with?
Yeah, this car was pretty solid, and we wedge cut the car, meaning we cut it from the back trunk area through the hood 2 inches, shaved off the roof, the bubble that these cars have.
Yeah.
Got rid of that on the roof and laid back the windshield, and it's got a Dodge Viper rear window. Front window is a Dodge Charger. So a little Mopar in here too.
Oh, you just threw them all at it.
Yeah.
Okay, so most people take the motor or the transmission out of a new car and put it in the old cars, but you guys did much more than that, it sounds like.
Yeah, this was the first time I think our collision helped us with this part of it.
Uh-huh.
And what we did is we made this 48 think it's a 16. I mean, matter of fact, today Wes got a call from OnStar because we did not hook up the third brake light in this car.
Okay.
It texted him and said, you have a light out, your brake light out is out on this car. So
wow.
We had no idea of the technology that's in this car.
So how did all that process work? I mean, like you're saying, I guess the collision techs helped you with the sensors and all that transferred over to this car.
Well, we made it work. The goal was to use as much of that 16 basically as we could. Everything works in this car from the 16 except for the curtain airbags. Even the headlights we took out of the 16V, which they're a rectangular, very complicated self-leveling system.
Okay.
We took all the guts out of those, machined round headlights, and put everything into that round headlight that was in that funky square headlight.
Holy cow. And what about the interior? How much of the new car went into the interior of this one?
Absolutely, every piece of the inside is new. We manipulated all the pieces to make it look like it came out of the 16, but everything, if you look at this car, it looks like GM built it because there's no design that we actually threw at the interior or the engine compartment that GM hadn't already done.
So in our shop, we've been doing a little bit more of some newer cars and some modifications, and I've been learning a lot about plastic repair, and you've been having your 3M universities.
Sure.
So did you have to take something that came out of the new Cadillacs and chop it, cut it, grind
Yes.
it, use a bunch of products to make it the correct shape?
We did.
Okay.
Mostly in the door panel, because we had to shorten the door panels 5 inches, but extend them up 6 inches, because this door is much shorter than the V and much taller. But we want to incorporate, everything that was in the V as far as hardware. So we definitely did some plastic welding, what we would call.
Right.
So yeah.
Wow. So tell me about the drivetrain.
Drivetrain is exactly in the position that it was on the V.
Okay.
So what we did is we moved the front suspension. The reason we picked, or Wes actually picked the V, was because of the track width.
Okay.
And that car was perfect track width for this car. It was just 16 inches too short.
Oh, okay.
So we actually we left the engine cradle in the same position.
Okay.
Then we actually grafted another cradle, the same cradle, grafted it forward, moved all the shock towers forward. So all the geometry is the same.
Okay.
Moved the frame rails forward. All the geometry stayed the same, but it's 16 inches longer.
Yeah, I can definitely see how the collision side of things helps during this whole process.
It was
you
really
guys
cool.
have hit the top of mixing the collision world with our old restoration stuff.
I think so.
I think so, definitely. You did a beautiful job merging the two together.
Well,
That's
thanks,
very
Kelly.
unusual in our industry of the restoring of the muscle cars to put in so much of the collision aspect of it.
Yeah.
You did a phenomenal job blending the two together.
Thanks. I appreciate. I've always loved you guys. From Kevin, from the first time he noticed us, honestly, Kevin probably is our first interview we'd ever had out on the hot rod, and
look at you now.
He noticed some doofuses in a yellow Camaro, and you guys, it's always a highlight of us to see you guys and what you've done for the industry. I think you guys were the first ones to ever do anything on the internet. I mean, honestly, if there's somebody out there that beat him, I don't know who it'd be.
I don't know either. Kevin's always on the forefront of the video work, and the new creative ideas, but I think you guys introduced a whole new world to many of us.
I think we both introduced some things. So.
I'm glad we worked together.
Yeah, it's a good highlight of our show too. We really appreciate what you guys do.
Thank you.